Hi and welcome to another Whip Basics video. This time it's about leather whips, or especially one leather whip, Roohide. The thing is that I often introduce whips to you who are prototypes, who are very new things, or whips I think they are very special. And this time I have a very special for you. To be honest, this is a whip made by one of the best, and I mean it, one of the best whip makers we have on this planet. Some years ago I received a whip, and I think it was 5 years, 6 years, something around that, that time frame. I received a whip. It was for the shootings of Whip Basics, of one of the Whip Basics DVDs. It was not the latest one. It was, I think it was one before. But anyway, I received a whip, a bull whip, and it is this one. And this whip was made by Simon Martin from Tasmania. I'm a fan of the bird's eye plait. And so, I even wasn't talking about that to Simon, well, probably before some time ago, but he remembered that, and so he gave this wonderful whip that bird's eye plaiting in here. This is a 16 plait whip. It is a very, very balanced one. So it is good for target work. It is good for faster routines, not the machine gun routines. Just let me set this straight, okay? Not this da-da-da-da-da-da thing. No, this is, you can crack it faster, but it is still wonderful for balanced routines, where you go bam, 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 and so on. This is really perfect. I used it on the Whip Basics Volume 5 DVD to show the trick, to crack a little cap under a cup. You need a whip for that which is very precise. It's not, you can be a wonderful whip handler, a great, I'm not saying that I am that one, I'm saying, you can be a really good whip handler if the whip you have is not good. Well, that's it then. So you need, for such a trick, you need a very well-made whip. And therefore, that was a no-brainer. I just said, okay, for this demonstration, I use this one. The trick here is to cut that little plastic cap right under the cup. This trick is shown on YouTube, I know that, but the interesting thing is, it's always this attitude of, hey, look how cool I am, what I can do here. I'm so cool, I can crack this cap right under the cup. Okay, but there is no explanation how to do that. And I'm going to show you how to do. If you ask now why you'll find this here on the bonus material of Whip Basics Volume 5, the reason is this. I think those tricks are good when they're explained, so others can learn. And so I have it here on the Teacher's Edition, because I hope that you're not only going to show off with that, but that you're going to explain, so that you do the same thing I'm doing right here, okay? So, once again, like this. There's a big difference between show and reality. On YouTube, you mostly see people do this. You see, huh? I cracked that tiny little cap here. Huh? You see that? Yeah, that's the show. That's the show. And reality looks like that. I even don't have to look at the target, okay? That means when you know what you're doing, it has a traditional fall hitch here, and this is a very important thing. After those years of use, and believe me, after heavy use, not abusing the whip, you know, no cracking on gravel or concrete or things like that. I always took care of it, and it was never in a piece of plastic coiled tightly or something. No. I really take care of that whip, and therefore, no, I just wanted to say, therefore, it looks like at the first day, but it doesn't, because when I got it, it was so pale. You know, natural Roohide. This whip is not colored. You know, this is just natural Roo, and over the years, it became that beautiful color it has now. So, oh, by the way, there is a number on. Just let me take a look. It says number 129. Bullwhip number 129. Simon, when you see this, you can probably know. You can probably recall when that was. But yeah, thing is that this whip here is very, very precise. It is very easy to crack. The fall hitch, like I said, is a traditional one, and here is a very, very important thing. There is one of the Whip Basics shorts I made about the fall hitch. If you haven't seen it, check it out, okay? Watch it. It's important. It's important for you as customer. You know, for a whip, if you already have a whip, well, you know, but if you want to buy a whip, this Whip Basics short about the fall hitch is really, really important, okay? So you really, yeah, if you like, if not, when. Okay, it's the thing I call the Chinese finger trap. Very, 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 very often you have whips. Those last few inches here, right before the fall hitch, if you take this part with two hands, index finger and thumb, and if you pull this together, and if you turn it a bit like that, you know, like this or like that, you can see right through it. Here you can't. And that means just one thing. This plating is next to perfect. And don't forget, this whip was in use for years, okay? You know, in summer when it's nice and dry and warm, I use that whip nearly every day. Every day for, you know, 20 minutes, half an hour, because I have more whips to use. But this whip, like I said, this whip here is really the leather whip. So if you are looking, if you are thinking about to buy a Roohide whip, there is one address I can send you to. This is Simon Martin. Yeah, you know, there's a but, a little but, you know. Isn't there always a but in every story? You know, this is, oh, it's wonderful, but. Yeah, and here is a but too. The thing is, I'm sorry to say that, but the waiting time from Simon, no, I don't, is about 12 months at the moment. I'm sorry to tell you, but you have to wait 12 months. It's a long waiting list, but trust me, it is worth the waiting if you are interested. So, in the end of the video now, I'm going to show you the trick with the cup and the can, and a few other cracks. One thing, I was asked very, very often, on the DVD, on the Whip Basics Volume 5 DVD, where I was shown that cap, there is a little string on the cap. And a lot of people asked me, this string, is that part of the trick? No, it's not. I just didn't like to search all over the garden to look for that tiny plastic cap. And so I just punched a hole in it and put that little piece of rope through and fixed it. So, I cracked it and it just made poof, and it was stopped by that little piece of rope. And no, this is not a trick. You already have to do it. You have to learn that. And really a good advice from me. Take a little piece of rope and fix your little plastic cap. Otherwise, you need a lot of caps, or you need a lot of patience to search for it in your garden. So, okay, here we go. Again, this is a 7-foot whip, entirely made from Roohide. And when I say entirely, I mean entirely. Bolsters, bellies, overlay, everything made from Roo. I said this in another video, and I'm saying this in the Whip Basics Volume 5 DVD, I think, no, 4, excuse me, 4. A lot of whip makers advertise their whips, they're saying, made from best Roohide. And then the bolsters are made from cow. From the quality, this is no problem. Bolsters made from cow add to the weight, they add to the balance. This is absolutely okay. There's nothing wrong with cowhide bolsters, but they are way cheaper. The material, the cowhide, is way cheaper than Roo. So if someone advertises his whips as made from Roo, you should be really sure that the entire whip is made from Roohide. If it's made entirely from Roohide, and I know Simon Martin's whips are made entirely from Roo. There are other whip makers who advertise their work as made from first-grade Roo. Yeah, and then the bolsters are cow. Like I said before, make sure before you buy a whip, Roohide has its price. It's not cheap. Roohide whips are expensive, but they are worth the money, absolutely. But then they should be made entirely from Roo, okay? Just as a side note. But, I already mentioned that before, so up to you what you do or not. So, again, and now a few impressions of this wonderful, beautiful whip in motion. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.